Just invited Rosie to join me, and there she is. There we go. We're
We
always
did it.
we're always still so surprised when it actually works the first time.
I
The
know.
joys of Instagram.
Joys of Instagram.
It means we're all ready to take this leap together, I guess,
Yes,
eh?
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. And shall we just get started?
absolutely. Take it away, Rosie.
Okay. Okay. So basically, as you can see, it's Rosie and Matthew. We're here on behalf of the Dream Arc, and we're here to open up an exploration into the theme of leaping, which happens to be embodied and reflected by an exciting group of 13 animals in the Dream Arc Animal Codex, written by Richard Rudd. And we refer to them as the family of leapers. And in a little bit, we're going to be turning to the Leapers Oracle and calling in a leaper for the collective and all of us who are present, like both now and in the future. And since you found yourself here, there's a pretty good chance that you've either just taken a big leap in your life, you're immersed in one right now, or you're feeling one coming in the near future. And maybe, one of the leaps that you're considering or you just took has been in the realm of education or career or vocation. Maybe you're in the process of taking a leap into a relationship or out of a relationship. Or maybe you're feeling called to take a leap into some sort of an adventure or a new identity or a new home or a new role, maybe in your family or your social circle. Or maybe you're feeling called to take a spiritual leap or an emotional leap or a physical leap. Or maybe you're not feeling actually like you want to take a leap at all, but life is asking you to take one, which is often the case when it comes to leaping. And of course, some of the leaps we take in life are super exciting, but some are absolutely terrifying. And a lot of them end up being surprising. So before we draw from the oracle, we would love to hear from some of you just quickly in the comments, what kind of leaps have you taken in your life, or what kinds are you currently contemplating or being asked to take, even though they scare you? Just a few words that describe the leap and perhaps a feeling word like, I'm considering changing careers and I'm excited. Or, I just left out of a relationship and I'm terrified, or something like that. You get the idea. So let's see what anybody says, if anybody says anything. And if nobody does, then you're very welcome, Matthew, to share yourself.
Okay. Well, and sometimes writing our comments and stating them out loud here can be a leap into
That's
itself, right?
true.
So,
That's a good
yeah,
point. A
yeah,
leap in taking risks.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm definitely, yeah, Mary's just written moving into the unknown, and I can definitely feel that. I think we're in, this ties us into this idea of this collective leap that we're taking into the unknown
Yes.
together. And many of us, I think, are feeling that. I'm definitely experiencing that in my own life with some leaps that are happening over the coming months. And so we've got some big projects with the gene keys in England, for instance, and there's some things bubbling up there that are these leaps that we don't see. There's no certainty in these leaps, but there's an adventure in these leaps, and there's a deep calling in these leaps. So it's definitely inviting us to take a leap into the unknown. So yeah, here we go. We've got some other people sharing
Yeah.
some bigger, yeah. So I just have to make sure. Starting a new solo business. That's from Jessica. I recognize that. I recognize that Instagram handle. And then Maria Soroka is taking the biggest leap ever, starting her own business, separating from her husband. My 8-year-old is leaving home soon. Wow, those are some pretty big leaps there, Maria. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I can feel that. I can feel the energy of the leapers coming in now just through these chairs here. So this is us joining together to take these leaps together. Beautiful. Thank you, Maria.
Yes.
Yeah, so it looks like those are the comments we have so far, Rosie.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Do you want to keep going and talk about
Yeah, we can
the?
keep going,
Yeah.
and we're going to call in a moment or two. Rosie has her little deck of leapers. Yep, you've got them all there. So this is one of the early versions of the Oracle deck that will one day be quite ubiquitous. But for now, this is the solo copy of it. And Rosie's going to draw from there a leaper in a moment. And just if you're wondering why we're focusing on the leapers, leapers is one of the 12 categories within the dream arc. There's even all these different journeys and quests that we go on. And the leapers is one of them. And so it seems appropriate for this time for so many of us. It's also what we featured this month's Gazelle newsletter through the Dream Arc is working with the leapers. So if this has piqued your interest, or if we pique your interest during the rest of this call, then you might find that you're drawn to go and look at the Gazelle and see what other inspirations lie there. Or if you're already working with the course, you might take a peek in there. Just wanted to, one more person commenting here saying, re-immersing myself into my business full-time, wholeheartedly this go around. So there's a few people taking these leaps in business is what I'm hearing today.
Mm-hmm.
And so perhaps, as we move into this, we're going to be drawing an animal for our collective leap. And humanity, you may have noticed this, we're going through some changes, there's an evolution occurring, and there are some leaps into the unknown that we'll be taking over this next little while. And some of those can be in the next few months here. I mean, we've got pretty big things stirring in the United States right now, in the UK as well, and other parts of the world where it seems there's so much brimming at the surface. And, what's called for really is this leap in consciousness. Can we move away from a humanity that is always at war with itself into a leap into a consciousness of peace and collaboration and cooperation? These are the kinds of leaps that these great collective leaps, if we look back over history, we can see there have been times where humanity has taken these collective leaps. And so we thought it would be kind of fun to invite in a creature to support us all through what these collective leaps are, and recognizing that our individual leaps are part of this collective leap. That every time we take a leap towards, the unknown, if we take a leap and with trust just in our own unique journey, that ripples out into the macrocosm, where our microcosmic journey is part of this macrocosm. And so when we call forth an animal creature like this, one that serves the whole collective, it's looking for where that seed is within our own individual lives. And each of these leapers brings a different kind of transmission around leaping and maybe a different message around it, but one that I found universal. And Rosie, you might have experienced this too, but a lot of times there's this waiting for the leap. It's like, when's this leap going to happen? And leaps can happen in very, very much in unexpected moments, right? And so it's allowing for that. And so a lot of it is about how we wait for the leaps. Are we waiting, with distrust or unease, or, what kind of shadow states are we experiencing, the waiting in? Or are we waiting in a place of trust? And I don't know about you, Rosie, but I find for myself, it's like that moment that I'm prepared to wait for eternity. It seems like things happen in an instant, because there's just that total surrender to when these great leaps, we often speak in the Gene Keys about the great change of 2027, and Richard's going to be offering a transmission on that in the coming months in London. And, it's like, is it going to be an immediate leap? And Richard's one of the first to speak about how we might see it in subtle ways. We might see it in, we don't know. We don't know. We know, we can see the changes that are unraveling, and we get a sense of what, what we might be experiencing, but we don't know what it's going to look like necessarily. And so can we wait with that trust and with that patience, such that when the leap happens, it happens in an unexpected way, and we're not trying to control or manifest a leap. It's just we have that total trust in the leap. And so, I think here in this collective, we're hoping for a leap, and we're doing our individual work for a leap. And I think there's a creature guide that wants to come forward and support us with this leap. So I'd say that's the next leap we take in this conversation, Rosie. How about you?
That sounds very good. Very good. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I see people are really resonating with that, waiting in trust. And
Mm-hmm.
while we're waiting, really kind of building our trust muscles, I feel like in a way that's kind of what the dream arc is about, is really like building our trust muscles, opening up our intuition, becoming creative, more adaptive. Those are the things that we work on as we're waiting, so that when the leap is asked of us, we've got
Yeah,
we're okay with the unknown. We've been practicing becoming comfortable
yeah,
with comfort,
yeah.
right? That's kind of
Yes,
those
exactly.
are the things
That's
we can do while we're waiting. Okay,
absolutely
so Matthew, I've got the 13 leapers here.
the
So
leapers are leaping.
so so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like pass my finger over them, and when you say stop, I will pull it.
Okay, stop.
Oh, we got the moose.
It's the moose. Ah, I love the moose.
I
I,
love the moose.
I mean, I live here in Canada, so eh, we love the moose.
That's such a good one. I can see someone just got visited by a grasshopper too. That's awesome.
Oh, what
That's a
the?
leaper too.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what.
let's do you
So,
want to read from the moose for people?
yeah, I can read from the moose for people. So the moose, if anybody's thinking of it in terms of gene keys, because that's where our gene keys community might go, is which gene key is that connected with? And it's connected with the 43rd gene key. And this is about insight and breakthrough. So this is actually kind of what we've just been speaking to as well. And shouldn't be any surprise in that. And for anybody wondering, its partners are the sparrowhawk and the electric eel. So you might be working with one of those creatures or seeing one of those creatures recently. So the moose, I'll read from the moose's guidance. So sit and receive this. And how does this land for your own individual guidance at this time? And perhaps where is this sitting for all of us as we go through our collective leaps? All right, I am Moose. Go forth and create. A breakthrough waits within you, just beneath the surface. Like water rising up from millennia beneath the earth, there comes a time when it must find its way through to the surface. These are powerful and magical moments in life. If we are not prepared, breakthrough can easily turn into breakdown. So prepare for what is coming. This is exactly what you were just saying, Rosie. Deep forces in your unconscious in the collective are rising up. At such times, it is important to clear one's plate, to purify the body and emotions, and to make space for the sacred to come. In the traditions of my people and the tribes who work with me, I am also a guardian creature. Consider heading northwards, either as a pilgrimage or inwardly. Find your true north. Maybe that's something we could all do. What happens if you align with the north direction where you are right now? The north denotes silence. It denotes either great light or total darkness. Through the symbol of the pole star, it signifies a new direction in life, a new current. It is time to claim an ancient inheritance inside yourself, a gift of your ancestors, and to put this gift to greater use in the world. Open your heart to the creative spirit and trust in where it takes you. I am a leaper. There's still more. Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
I am a leaper. With my assistance on the inner planes in the dream realm, you can break through to new, higher planes of consciousness. The tree growing from my head signifies this ability you have to grow your roots into the world of spirit. At the same time, be strongly rooted in the ancient traditions and in the deep, musty, delicious scents of the earth. Those who fly high do so on account of their deep groundedness in earth, in family, in community. Therefore, build these things into your dreaming, and then you can journey deep into the forest, into the inner worlds, and much of value I will teach you in these realms. Mm. It's always worth just sitting and digesting those for a
Yeah.
moment. What stood out for you, Rosie?
You know, the image of the tree growing from its head, and that
Mm.
and the connection between that and the deep roots. So like the deeper the roots, the deeper our connection with the earth and our bodies and ancestral lands. and wisdom,
Mhm.
traditions, the more we can kind of reach out. There was something about that image that really struck me. I never really thought about the moose in that way, even though I know
Yeah,
I've read this before, but somehow that really struck me this time. The tree going out, the branches reaching out.
yeah,
And the sort of, so again, it's like Richard talks about the involution and the evolution, sort of like coming in through the antlers and growing up from the roots, and then becoming a Taurus that can meet any change, meet any challenge, any unknown, with creativity and fluidity and a capacity to move through the different realms. It just, I don't know, somehow it hit me in a new way, the moose. How about you? What stood out for you, Matthew?
yeah. I like that every time we attune to these, something different can hit us in a different
Yeah.
way. And the same for me is around the tree. I do like this piece about this. There's something feels strong in this alignment with the north direction, like to
Yes.
orient ourselves in space and time. And at the same time, this piece about the tree as well, because it reminds me. So when we work with the dream arc and we're working with these animals, I think of the ancestors and how the ancestors used the stars, worked with the stars, and how many of those star systems are named after animals. So it's like, those branches as they reach out towards the constellations and into the star lore of all of humanity for so many eons. At the same time, this deep animal connection that's rooting it into the earth. And so that's kind of what popped up for me as well with the moose here. And, I have a particular fondness for the moose. One of our little home synchronicities is that my wife is a spiritualist minister, and 43rd gene key is her purpose. So the moose is very much related to her purpose. And a couple of years ago, when she took on this role, she'd taken over from another person and they moved to a new location. And when she moved to this new location, it happens to be at Moose Hall. And so this place is a moose hall, and it's got images of moose all around her, and it's like this supporting
Wow.
her. Yeah, because she offers these spaces, like when people come to see her for her work, they don't know what they're going to get. They don't know what kind of breakthroughs are coming, and she doesn't know either. She doesn't know what's going to come through her mouth. Sometimes she surprises herself, and I think that's part of this moose too, is allowing ourselves to be surprised by ourselves in this time of breakthrough, to do what seemed impossible at one time in our life, and to be able to do that. It's that great creative work. So the moose stirs up quite a bit for me when I contemplate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
just want to say too, Matthew, you're talking about the North Node or the North
Mm.
Star for each of us, and that's like there are all kinds of leaps we're dealing with, but there's also that North Star leap. Like, what is it? What is our highest, deepest self feel called to in terms of what is our purpose for being here on this planet? Like
Mm.
Nicole finding her. And I was thinking about the people who were sharing earlier that the big leap they were taking was in business. And I think often we think, oh, business is just work or whatever. But I
Mhm.
can't think of anything that has gotten me to take more leaps, to stretch myself more than my vocational life, or have brought more surprises to me. Even that I'm on Instagram is a leap. It's kind of, so it's really
Yeah.
like, what is it that we're here to offer this world? And it could be business, it could be through art, it could
Mhm.
just be through loving the people in our lives deeply, it could be sitting with people as they pass to the other side. There's so many ways that we can be of service, that could be considered our true north, and they will constantly, if we're really opening our hearts to those experiences with willingness and openness to move into the unknown, we will receive invitation after invitation to leap and stretch and grow, just by wanting to offer our gifts to the world, whichever way those happen. So I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. I know we're going to share a way to sort of support and embody this in a
Yeah,
moment, but you
yeah.
slipped out North Node, and I hadn't even gone
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's
But
true.
those those working with the dragon right now, the dragon's head is known as in astrology. There's a relationship what's known as our North Node. So it's this way in which we're being stretched in this lifetime. And I'm hearing you too in relation to when it comes to business, that we are going through such transformations and change on all fronts, and even the word, I mean, the word busyness, that has that thread of busy inside its nets. And that we're going through this transformation and these leaps into a whole different experience with these and way of working with these. So
Yeah.
yeah, the North Node, for those who work with astrology or dragons, that stretch, and where are we being stretched? Where is our true north? I think
Yeah.
and it's amazing, like the work that I do with my Celtic teachers, we spend a lot of time focusing on that orientation wherever we are, with north, south, east, and west, and within the center, above and below. So it brings moose and these four directions all into one place for me. So yeah,
Wonderful.
there we go. There we go. Well, I think we were
So,
going to leave them with a bit of an invitation to kind of,
yeah.
now that we brought Moose forward and we've contemplated, we've stirred some thoughts around a little bit. Now it's like, how do we, let's bring the energy of Moose, the archetype of Moose, out into our world, right? More people, somebody else saying my North Node is in Leo and I'm launching my business right now. Such a stretch for me. So it seems like, we've got a number of people who are taking that leap. So we in the Gene Keys are taking that leap into new ways of business with you. So
All
perhaps
the
you should, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
time.
So very
Congratulations.
good.
Okay, well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you for connecting us to Moose, in honor and support of the great collective leap that we're all in the process of taking together. And before we bring our time to a close, we thought it would be fun for all of us to take a symbolic, and if you dare, even a literal leap together. So let's just start maybe by taking a moment to feel into that theme of leaping again. You might want to close or soften your eyes for a bit. And even if you're just popping in right now, just assume you're here for a reason and just go along with it. so so the question is, like, where is it in your life that you're feeling called to take a leap? And it might be a desired leap, like I said, or a scary one, or it might be an inevitable one that is asking you just to surrender and put your trust into an unknown. It might be relational, emotional, vocational, spiritual, locational. And if you've been here from the start, you might want to work with the leap that came to when we first began our time together, or maybe by now another leap, now that we're bringing in the North Star, has come to your attention, one that feels more imminent or resonant. So trust your gut on this, because that's what the dream arc is all about, trusting your gut. And once you have a sense of the leap that you're feeling called to take, just hold it in your mind's eye or hear it spoken within your mind, and call on Moose for support. Imagine that this collective leaper guide, the moose, is beside you or within you, with its antler trees extending out into the cosmos and its long legs rooted deep into the earth. And it's offering you its most inspiring and empowering breakthrough qualities, those that will be most helpful to you in relation to the particular leap that you're considering. And in a minute or two, we're going to ask everyone, whether you're listening to us live or sometime in the future, to declare your leap. And you can do this in different ways. You can write it down at home or in the chat, or you can speak it out loud, which we actually recommend highly, even if it feels silly. Remember that the written word and the spoken voice add energy, right? So they carry amplifying power. And while you're writing or giving voice to your leap, see if you can frame it in present tense as opposed to the future. So either that means you're declaring that you're now ready to take this leap, or that you're already taking the leap. Or if it feels right, you might want to declare that the leap has already taken place and you've landed, you've arrived at your destination. And even if you don't even know what your destination looks like, which is often the case when we're taking leaps, see if you can imagine how it feels, how you feel. Imagine the best case scenario feeling after having taken the leap. Okay, so those are my instructions. So if you haven't written it down or said it yet, this is your moment to declare it.
Mm.
No. So just give people a minute. Okay. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they've been closed. And the next thing we'd like you to do is kind of look around and see if you can find an object that intuitively feels connected to that North Star, your leap's destination. Or just focus with your eyes on a place just a few feet in front of you on the ground. And if you picked an object, you might want to place it in that spot. And you can do this now or when the time is right for you, maybe when the call is done, if it feels a little embarrassing to do it when we're all together. We invite you to literally take a leap to that spot, to really like move your body. And you might want to shout something out loud while you do it, like yes, or I trust, or something like that. And if you're not able to take a physical leap, no worries at all. Just imagine yourself taking that leap. Because if the dream arc teaches us anything, it's that the imagination can be just as powerful. So that is our invitation to you, whether you're doing it now or whether you're doing it later, whether you want to make a little ritual out of it for yourself. But there's really power when we add our energy. We add our physical energy, our imagination energy. We add the energy of objects, our voice, our writing hand. All these ways are ways to infuse a leap with power. So that's our invitation for you. Is there anything you would like to add, Matthew?
No, that was really
Oh, someone did
good.
it. Someone
Someone
did
did
it.
it. Someone did it. I could
Yay.
feel the energy of us. I could feel the energy of those joining us here. And there's probably people joining us in the future watching the replay as well. And that was a really powerful little exercise. And yeah, great way to stir up the imagination. And Mary's taking the jump too,
Yay,
taking the
Mary.
leap. So the leap is already done. It's already occurred.
And
So we're now,
imagine, Matthew, like if people watch this over the coming weeks, that there are going to just be people leaping all over the world,
yeah,
taking leaps. And we're doing this together through time and space. And that excites me a lot. Me
yeah,
too.
that
Yes.
really does too. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, jumping into my dream now. Me too, says Claudia. Awesome. That's just on our group here, people here who joined us live, and just looking forward to hearing it continue on out. So yeah, there's that declaration and that commitment to such an important part. Like somebody was asking me the other day, how long does it take for this to unfold? And I think I spoke to that a little bit at the beginning, but it does require that trust and that declaration that yes, and we'll find some courage we never knew we had in that process. Loving what people are writing in the comments here. Jumped into barefoot to my crystal in the birth direction. Austin Gustavo, heart healing from Amina. Beautiful. Joined, jumped. I love us, says.
That's
Yes, I love us too. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
so,
Mary. Moose heart merged into my heart. That's it. Exactly right there. See, we both placed our hands on our heart. And Mary said earlier that she has a North Star on her
oh,
heart. So as we place our hands on our hearts, we are aligning with Mary's North Star on her heart. So I think that's awesome. And yeah, this is the Leapers. We're working with them for the next couple of months here with the Dream Arc Collective as a collective field. And so please feel free to share. The replay will be up in a few moments. Please feel free to share that with others that you know might be going through leaps or don't know that they're going through leaps. Sometimes, I started working on the gazelle with our team, working on the gazelle, which is the leapers. And of course, that's when the leaper energy began to leap in. And so my working with the gazelle is my commitment to these categories. And I think it just when we have that commitment, it's just, yeah, it's pretty amazing what can unravel and just trusting in whatever shows up. So we are going to do these kinds of calls on Instagram here at least once a month. Rosie and I are committed to jumping on and joining in with and we've already got lots of ideas streaming through for other things that we'd like to share because we know not everybody's involved in the retreat right now, and we know a lot of people are involved in the Dream Arc, and it's just nice to feel connected to the Dream Arc community. So yeah, I think that's all we wanted to share here for today. If you're not familiar with the Dream Arc, wondering what the heck you've landed in here with this moose and all this other stuff, then you can go to our bio at the top. You click on there and you'll find our links to the Dream Arc course, etc. And yes, yeah, we love the Dream Arc. That's right, Jessica. We love the Dream Arc.